So I have some questions for you, just to get you in the frame of mind for those little Christmas quizzes that will come later on. Right, so this is a more or less or an earlier or later quiz, and it will all become clear in just a moment. So, for example, if there was this question, a statement, 29% of shoppers begin their Christmas shopping before November the 1st. If you think it is more than 29% of people that begin their Christmas shopping before the 1st of November, I want you to put this hand up, because more is on that side. And if you think it's less, I want you to put that hand up. Okay? So, 29% of shoppers begin their Christmas shopping before the 1st of November. Do you think it is more, or do you think it is less? Okay, so the correct you'll need to keep your score yourself. The answer is more. It is 43%. Right, let's do this one. 50% of people eat a candy cane starting with the curved end instead of the straight end. Do you think it is more than 50% or less than 50%? I've got this information from the internet, so therefore it is true. Right, well, the candy cane question, let's have a look. The correct answer is less. So, 28% of people eat a candy cane incorrectly by starting at the curved end. Let's go with this one. St. Nicholas was born in 427 AD. Do you think St. Nicholas was born earlier or later than 427? So if you think it was before 427 or after 427? Right. The correct answer is earlier. He was born in 270 AD. Anyone on 3 out of 3? Oh, there's a few on 3 out of 3. Right. Let's do a couple more. Let's have this one. So 5,000 people are admitted to hospital each year following Christmas-related accidents. So this is a UK statistic, and this is people that have gone to A&E and then been admitted into hospital because of a Christmas-related accident. Things like falling through the loft while getting the decorations, electrocuting yourself on the Christmas tree lights, those sorts of things. So if you think it is more than 5,000 people, if you think it is less than 5,000 people. The correct answer is more. 6,000 people last year were admitted to hospital following Christmas-related accidents. And then let's just do one more. Let's do two more. Let's do this one. 33% of UK adults say that they are planning on attending a church service or event over Christmas 2025. So do you think it is more than 33% or less than 33%? The correct answer is more. It is, where are we? 45% of UK adults have said that they plan on attending some event in a church over Christmas. Right, last one. 40% of adults in the UK say that they receive unwanted Christmas gifts. Do you think it is more than 47% or less than 47%? Well, it is actually 58%, so the mores have it. Right, anyone get them all right? Excellent. We have 3 people who have extensive Christmas knowledge. Right, well, I'm not going to ask you to put your hands up if you have today received an unwanted Christmas gift, because I am aware that if I was to do that, there might be some interesting conversations on the way home, which might spoil the rest of the day. But if that statistic is anything to go by, then the chances are that quite a few of us by the end of today will have received an unwanted or a gift that we don't want. Now, I know that when I was younger, the way to avoid this situation was to go through the Argos catalogue with a pen and put asterisks. Me and my sisters, we had different ways of marking it. But then to give my mum, I was going to say my parents, but give my mum a kind of, this is what I would like, page number, and then that number, three digits with a slash, and then 4 digits. So she knew exactly what it was that I wanted. Of course, these days, a properly prepared Christmas list is received via email or via WhatsApp or some other messaging service, so that there's a link that you can click that takes you to exactly the right product, exactly the right color, exactly the right size from exactly the right website. Now, the shepherds were out in the fields, keeping watch over their flocks. And never in a million years would they have anticipated what was about to happen to them. It was true that they were living in an occupied land. They were living under Roman occupation with all the negative implications that brought. And it was true that the people of Israel, they had this vague hope that God was going to send someone to rescue them, a vague hope that was based on prophecies that were written hundreds of years before. But to be honest, most people had lost that hope because nothing had happened for such a long time. And as fans of the local football team, Bethlehem United, know, and as fans of the England football and cricket teams know, it is the hope that kills you. So many times their hopes had been raised and dashed. False messiahs had come and false messiahs had gone. And so most people just got on with their lives. They lived as if these promises from the Old Testament were never going to come true. They just expected that life would carry on in the same way as it always had. And even if the Messiah was to come, no one on that hillside on that first Christmas day really expected it to make any difference to them at all, because they were at the bottom of the pile. And they learnt a long time ago that it doesn't really matter who's in control at the top. If you're at the bottom, things rarely get any better. It just means that someone else tells you what to do. It just means that you're looking after someone else's sheep. It just means that someone else benefits from your taxes. But then their lives changed forever. They were still shepherds. They were still at the bottom of the social pile. They still looked after someone else's sheep. They still paid their taxes. The Romans were still in control, but everything had changed. They'd been visited by an angel, and not just by one angel, but by a whole host, a great company of angels. They had been the first visitors to see Jesus and his parents. And this baby was the one that the prophets had spoken about hundreds of years before. This was the Messiah. This was the one who had come to save his people from their sins. And because of this baby, those shepherds could experience joy and peace. And so, having seen Jesus, they went and told everyone that they could find what they'd seen and what they'd heard. And then they returned to their mountainside. They returned to their sheep, glorifying and praising God. Returning to a life that on the outside looked very similar to the life that they had before. But on the inside, everything was different. 58% of adults in the UK will apparently receive an unwanted Christmas present today. But I wonder what people would say if you were to ask them what they really wanted for Christmas. And I wonder what percentage would use some of the words that we've been thinking about over Advent: joy, peace, hope, love. But I wonder how many of these people are looking for those things in the wrong places, because they don't realize that these things can be found in Jesus. This baby was going to grow up, and he was going to show us what it looked like to love God and what it looks like to love others. He was going to die on a cross and then 3 days later come back to life, so that he, through his death and through his resurrection, could save us from our sins. And so even if throughout the course of today you receive all the presents that are on your list and everything you want, then this Christmas, don't miss out on the greatest gift of all. Don't leave the gift that Jesus offers wrapped up under the Christmas tree to go back up into the loft alongside the decorations and the lights. Jesus invites us to follow him and to say yes to him today. And if you would like to know a little bit more about what that looks like and what that means, then please do take the opportunity to talk to me or anyone else afterwards. But also on the table outside, there are some of these little booklets, Why Christmas? And just take one of those away and it will explain everything in there. So let's receive the gift that Jesus offers to us today. Let's pray.